Let us discuss Kyle Shanahan. You just heard it. Thanks to the fine editing department here at Fox Sports Radio. So Kyle Shanahan says it is inaccurate to say that the 49ers can't win big games. Is that how you see it? So I've got Komodo Dragon, JetBlue, and Chinese. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make the Heimlich maneuver, which is what Kyle Shanahan's teams need when they have a lead in the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game if they play the Rams. All right, so let us discuss. Now, number one. To answer the question, our position on Shanahan, is that how you see it? No, of course not. Doing a monologue on it. Of course I don't agree with Kyle Shanahan. He's a dummy. All right, so shocking that Kyle Shanahan would come out and have this take, that he would disagree that the public sentiment that he's coaching a team that gags, and he does not agree with that. Like, shocking, right? Didn't see that take coming from Kyle Shanahan. Did not see that take coming from Kyle Shanahan. It would have been great, though, if Kyle had come out and listed off every player on the Niners one by one and say, that guy poops his pants. That guy urinated down his leg. That guy right there puked on his jersey. And just go down. Oh, that guy had a stomach ache. And just go one by one, right? Caught me red-handed. My pants were down. The whole thing. But we know that in big moments when Kyle Shanahan is on the sidelines, you look over to Shanahan, and it's like you're at a pizza parlor called Shakey's, because his teams are very shaky, very, very shaky in big moments. You can hem and haw all you want. I know all the Niner fans that were calling this show religiously. We're on the number one sports radio station in San Francisco, which is a massive media market. But they're all in hiding, right? The guys that call up are in hiding. Lance, the bus driver, called up, but that's just because he wanted to talk trash. He didn't really care. He just wanted to talk trash. But have we heard from Alameda Lou? No. We haven't heard from Alameda Lou. And all those other 49er guys that are regulars. And listen, Niners got to the Super Bowl. Congratulations. Didn't get it done. But for better or worse, this issue is the Komodo dragon in the room for the 49ers. If it looks like a Komodo dragon, if it walks like a Komodo dragon, if it's got a forked tongue like a Komodo dragon, we believe it's a Komodo dragon. A fire-breathing version of the dragon. It's not really rocket science. It's just sports. Tell me what your record is in this era in big games with Kyle Shanahan as your coach. Tell me what that is, and I will then tell you what you are. And going back to his days in Atlanta, even if you don't want to count that, even if you said we're not going to count the Atlanta game because he was just the offensive coordinator when Tom Brady came back down 25 points, okay, fine. We'll say okay. But the Niners in this run have been a good regular season team, and they have failed to thrive in the harsh climate of the big stage. They have. Gagged up 2 Super Bowls against Patty Mahomes and Kansas City in the NFC title game. That was my favorite, by the way. My favorite, because I was at that game, was watching thousands of 49er fans with their vintage Jerry Rice, Joe Montana jerseys walking out with their head down, their tail between their legs, thinking that home field advantage on the road would matter. And it didn't. Not when Kyle Shanahan is your coach. Now, page 2. Speaking of the 49ers, we have some grumbling in the locker room. Who could have predicted this? Star wideout, Brandon Aiyuk, all over the map. Now, he said publicly, he wants to stay with the 49ers, but he couched it by saying, if it's the right move, is the way he phrased it. That amid contract rumors that he is on the way out. Now, you juxtapose Brandon Aiyuk saying that he wants to stay with the Niners if it's the right move, with his inner circle claiming that he's gone, implying that he's leaving San Francisco, citing a lack of usage in Super Bowl 58. So mixed messages. Let's talk about this one. Brandon Aiyuk says he wants to stay with the Niners if it's the right move, while the people around him would like him to go somewhere else via a trade. So which of these is more significant to you? Is it Brandon Aiyuk saying, I want to stay if it's the right move, or the other way to approach this, is it the people around him? So on this one, after a minutes-long Maller investigation, I have determined the answer on this one is the people around him. I'm going with the F word, the family. I'm going with the family on this one because Aiyuk, he's using niceties with the media and playing the role of Crash Davis, right? If you remember that old baseball movie, Bull Durham, and you got to speak in cliches and platitudes, and his girlfriend does not. Last I checked, the WAGs, the wives and girlfriends, do not have to speak in that language. They can be honest, and they often are honest, and so you've got his girlfriend and another close relative, unfiltered, going on the record saying that he's gone. Now, the Niners did pick up Brandon Aiyuk's fifth-year option, so he's going to make $14 million next season. But that doesn't mean he's going to make it wearing a 49er uniform. He's actually more attractive now because you get 1 year. If he's good, you can franchise tag him. If he's not good, you say, okay, we didn't give up that much to get him. We're good. And right now, if you take a couple steps back, Brandon Aiyuk is sitting there at the counter. He's got a standby JetBlue airline ticket to enter the transfer portal. To be named later what team he goes to. But there are plenty of teams that need wide receivers, including the team the 49ers just lost to in the Super Bowl. There's no chance they would trade him to the Chiefs, right? No way. They wouldn't do that. What about, you look around, what about the Patriots? They have no wide receivers. They have no quarterback. They have no offensive line. They have no running backs. They need everything, the Patriots, at this point. But you go down, there's a bunch of teams that need wide receivers. The Ravens could use another wide receiver. They could use also a quarterback in big games because Lamar Jackson vanishes in big games most often also. Boy, imagine if you had Shanahan and Lamar Jackson together. Boy, you lose every playoff game. Be amazing. All right, final point. Headline from the trenches. And what a story here. San Francisco guard John, his brother's Jose. John Feliciano. Never heard of that guy before because he's an offensive lineman, and we only know about 7 or 8 offensive linemen out of the 32 teams in the NFL. But anyway, now I know who this guy is. Joe Feliciano, he pointed the finger at a fellow Niner lineman. This is Niner on Niner crime. Someone named Spencer Buford. Buford? I don't even know who that is either. Anyways, so apparently this guy, Buford, missed a key block in the overtime. And he got called out for it. There was a Matador block. Ole, 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 ole. A Matador block where Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones. I actually remember this play now. It was a 3rd and 4 in overtime. And Jones got pressure on Brock Purdy, who then urinated in his pants. He wet his pants. And then that led to a hurried throw, a bad throw by Brock Purdy in the overtime, which led to the field goal. Now, Feliciano backpedaling after pointing the finger. He claimed a hangover factored into his social media rambling. So, question, do you believe the 49ers offensive lineman blaming a hangover for calling out a teammate's lack of blocking? So, a couple thoughts. A, the initial statement was the correct statement. B, it's taboo to do this. And C, I'm going to shake my head no that the hangover is the reason that John Feliciano, it's a good name actually, that this guy did what he did. And there's a drunken man's word. Whatever a drunken man says, his words are a sober man's thoughts. And there's a Chinese proverb that says when the wine goes in, the truth comes out. The truth comes out. Alcohol is a wonderful facilitator of truth. Well, the scientists say that's not technically true. Well, yeah. This goes back hundreds of years, right? Most of human history is not recorded, but in recorded human history, going back as far as you have records, alcohol and humans, people say, well, truth. Truth Right? Going back to the Bronze Age, and they're talking about this being truth and all that.